Hi, my dear students. Very good morning to everyone. Welcome to the next session of our science class with respect to the lesson Animal Fiber. In the previous video, we have discussed about stage 1, which we can call the stage from development of moth from eggs. So, stage 1 we have already completed. Let this be classified into different stages so that it will be very easy to understand. So, we already discussed about the stage that is from egg to moth. I said the another name for moth is Bombyx mori. In generally local language they call them as chilakalu. The another name for the moth is Bombyx mori. You might have remembered all these. And seed growing centers we call them as grenades. Seed growing centers are known as grenades. The biggest seed growing center in our state, that is Andhra Pradesh, which is in Chittoor, that is Horsley Hills. There we have the biggest seed growing center. So in the first stage we discussed about how the moths will be, the moths are going to produce eggs, and I said they can lay maximum 500 eggs at one go, and the particular silk moth after laying that 5 eggs it will die. And these eggs will be developed on mats. And now these eggs will be turned up into worms. Okay. And the stage of eggs, the farmers from different districts might come to the grenade center and can able to purchase them. But in most of the occasions, they will develop these eggs again to the what? Moth. So the development of egg to moth, which have been discussed in stage 1. Now both this girl and the grandfather went to the stall 2 in the particular exhibition. Do you remember this? Yes. Stall 2, where we can witness, I can write it as stage 2 or phase 2 you can write. Here you can witness egg to cocoon. Egg to cocoon. Okay. Let me clarify this one, my dear students. First stage we discussed about moth to egg, not egg to moth. Moth to egg. So once the eggs were laid out, those eggs can be sell out, or they can be developed again into moths. That's what we are going to discuss now. Egg to, before moth we are going to discuss egg to cocoon. We'll discuss about very interesting phase this one. Egg to cocoon. Now, so all of you open your textbooks. Focus on the stall 2, page number 20 in your textbook. Here, large trays with leaves and the larva feeding on them. Here, larva is nothing but small worms that has been produced from the eggs. So the eggs were incubated after a certain period of time. The larva is going to be developed from it. The larva feeding on them could be seen. Some trays had white and yellowish egg-like structures. Some trays have white and yellowish egg-like structures. You can see in the book. Can you able to see the tray? You can see chopped leaves, and you can see the development of worms into bigger sizes. Okay, my dear students? Yes. Now, so in the stall 2, Assalamu alaikum. I am Rahman from Hanuman Junction of West Godavari district. So in the stall 2, we have one person called Rahman. What they will do? We grow silkworms to get cocoons. We grow silkworms to get cocoons. See, these eggs develops into worms. The worms gradually develop into silk moth. Yes or no? And here if you can observe, they can able to produce the cocoons from where? Yes, worms. So we get silkworms. We get silkworms to get cocoon. Before the development of the silk moth from the worms, we have a stage called cocoon, which you might have witnessed in the life history of a butterfly. Do you know how a butterfly can be able to have its life cycle? Yes, butterfly is going to be developed from worms. In Telugu we say gongali purugu. Yes, that turns into a beautiful animal called butterfly. The same way, moth developing from worm, in between they have stage called the development of cocoon. I will explain this. So we grow silkworms. They grow silkworms. You can see just now I shown in the picture. On the tray we have chopped leaves. What type of leaves? They are nothing but mulberry leaves. I will explain all these things. Okay, and those worms gradually develop into silk moth. How they will develop? What is the stage involved in this? Right, listen. Now, we get 5 to 6 harvest of worms in a year. So, in a particular year, they can able to produce 5 to 6 type of productivities, 5 to 6 times of productivity. Okay, so that means you can take an average of every 2 months. For every 2 months, they can able to produce silk moths from worms. Again, 2 more months will take place. Again, they have one more harvest. Okay, right. My grandfather, father, and my brother work on our farm. Who is saying these words? Yes, Rahman. Who is in stall 2? We discuss it as stage 2. And what you are going to observe here? Egg to cocoon. Okay. Now, we have 2 acres of mulberry plantation. We have 2 acres of mulberry plantation. Remember this word, most important. Mulberry plantation. Right. My grandfather brought mulberry twigs from Palamaneru of Chittoor district, where sericulture is carried out. Here you got one more important word, you have to underline this. Sericulture. What do you mean by sericulture? The whole process of obtaining silk, starting from silk moth, is said to be called sericulture. Generally, we can call it as sericulture means the rearing of silkworms. Growing. The rearing of silkworms is said to be called sericulture. Are you following? Or else we can also write this as the whole process. The whole process. The whole process of obtaining silk. Obtaining silk from silk moth. Starting from silk moth. Starting from silk moth. Remember these words, very important. Sericulture. It may be asked in your examination point of view as well as competitive GK programs. Many of the times you will be asked about the sericulture or pisciculture. Like there so many cultures are there. You can able to have this type of questions from culture, sericulture. So here, rearing of silkworms is said to be known as sericulture. Or we can also say the whole process of from where? From silk moth to egg to cocoon, cocoon to silk thread. We will discuss all these things. This entire process has to be called sericulture. So they have 2 acres of mulberry plantation. What is the use of mulberry plantation? Nothing but they have mulberry trees. What is the use of mulberry trees here? Yes. We plant the twigs to get mulberry crops. See, we have different methods to produce crops. By sowing seeds. In general household plants, we sow the twigs of the small plants where we can able to generate the new plants. So many techniques are there. My father purchased tiny white colored silkworms, which you have seen in the figure 2. Yes, they are somewhat big but smaller than those. Tiny white colored silkworms from seed growing centers at Horsley Hills. We place these worms in trays. They place these worms in trays. Yes. These worms, tiny white colored worms will place in trays. Okay. Place in trays. These worms, we place these worms in the trays and we chop the mulberry leaves into small pieces to feed them. In this place, what we will place? For the silkworms, we have to give food so that they can able to develop. Isn't it? In order to develop them, what sort of food they eat? Yes, they will provide mulberry leaves. I can say chopped mulberry leaves. Okay, chopped mulberry leaves. We chop the mulberry leaves into small pieces and feed them. And these worms eat these mulberry leaves pieces day and night continuously. You can witness hen. From the morning it wake up and till the evening it sleeps. It eats continuously. Hardly it stays at some time and take rest. Maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes. Immediately it will come again, go and will go for eating. Some organisms will there, some animals are there, they will eat continuously. So these worms eat the leaves day and night. They need good hygienic conditions, means very good atmosphere. Any sort of disease causing atmosphere or culture should not be prevented. They must be in a very good health and hygienic conditions. Okay, and proper light to grow. So these are very important. So in order silkworms to develop, what type of conditions required? Hygienic conditions. What type of conditions? Hygienic conditions, and also they requires good light to grow. Good light. And these silkworms, tiny white color silkworms, eat the mulberry leaves day and night. They eat the mulberry leaves day and night. Is it? Yes. Now, when they grow bigger in size, we transform these worms into big sized frames. When they grow, when the silkworms are transformed into big trays, it will be transformed into big size cane frames. Big size cane frames. Okay, my students, right? Big tray frames is there, and when they grow bigger size, we transform into big size cane frames called chendrikalu. Chendrikalu, remember this. Chendrikalu, big size cane frames have to be called chendrikalu. Okay, my students. Yes. After 30 to 35 days, the caterpillar stops eating and settles at a particular place. This is a very important thing to be remembered. So as we discussed in the earlier stage, we might have had that these will go continuously into, these will eat the leaves day and night continuously for how many days of time? Mostly from 30 to 35 days of time. After 30 to 35 days of time, I will write down here sericulture item. I hope you have noted down this. After 30 to 35 days of time, the silkworms stop eating mulberry leaves. After how many days? Yes, 30 to 35, an average we can take. They will stop eating mulberry leaves. Stop eating mulberry leaves. Stop eating the mulberry leaves. Okay, my dear students, this is very important phase to be remembered out. And stops eating and settles at a particular place. Stop eating and it settles. It will not move anywhere. It settles at a particular place. Here we are going to witness a wonderful stage in the life of silkworm. Okay, from this it is going to have its one new stage. Right? Now, it weaves a net to hold itself. So, after 30 to 35 days of time, it stops eating the mulberry leaves. And what it does? Yes, it going to settle at a particular place. And then what it will do? It weaves a net around itself so that it can able to stay there. Okay? It weaves a net to hold itself. Weaves a net to hold itself. Who was explaining all these things? Yes, Rahman. Very good. Now, this caterpillar, now we can call that caterpillar. This caterpillar moves its mouth from side to side. This caterpillar moves from side to side and secretes a fiber-like substance. Here, this caterpillar at this stage, after settling at a certain place and weaving a net to hold itself, by moving its mouth left to right, it secretes a substance. Yes, it secretes a fiber-like substance. Fiber-like substance. Okay, my dear students, it secretes a fiber-like substance when it is exposed to air and heat. It becomes strong. Who? This particular fiber. Fiber-like substance which is secreted by the mouth of the silkworm, when it is exposed to air and heat, it becomes hot. It becomes, you can say, strong. The net is woven. The net is woven completely over the body of the caterpillar, and this seems to be a closed sac, a bag-like structure. So it weaves a net around itself continuously throughout its body, so that we cannot able to see the silkworm in it, caterpillar in it. Okay, in such a way it is going to be weave a net around itself, and this is said to be called cocoon. This is said to be called cocoon. Secretes a fiber-like structure, and what it will happen? Yes, completely cover. Closed sac, bag-like structure, and this is said to be called cocoon or pattu kayalu. Pattu. Should be called pattu kayalu, or you can say cocoon. Okay. Okay, my dear students. So here what we discussed about the stage egg to cocoon. Mostly some areas the eggs will be sold out. Otherwise they will develop into moths. So before going to developing of moths, first of all we have the witness of development of tiny worms. These tiny worms lay in a special trays and they place them chopped leaves to feed in order to eat. And these silkworms eat day and night continuously, and they grow into bigger size. And this process will take place for how many days? Nearly 29 or 30 to 35 days. Say, after 30 to 35 days of time, the caterpillar, which was a developed one, stops eating the mulberry leaves, and it is going to settle at one place by weaving a net around itself to hold. Okay, it will do this process continuously. Before this, after weaving a net to hold itself, it moves its mouth to side and releases secretes a, you can see, fiber-like substance. Secretes a fiber-like substance. This fiber-like substance, when it is exposed to air and heat, it becomes strong. And this caterpillar continuously weaves a net around itself, so that we cannot able to see what is inside. And this net-like structure looks like a closed sac. Closed sac. And this closed sac we call it as cocoon or pattu kayalu. You might have learnt about pattu chiralu. Jeri pattu, silk pattu, some silk. That's why it is called pattu. Pattu kayalu or cocoon. From this only we are going to extract silk thread. We are going to extract silk thread. Yes. Now, my father said the larva of the silkworm undergoes changes in the cocoon to change into a moth. So, whatever the silkworm which is present in the cocoon, after some days of time, it will changes into silk moth. Okay. Then how will get the silk thread? After 2 to 3 weeks of the young moths, young moths come out. So I will rub out this one already over. Here, after 2 to 3 weeks After 2 to 3 weeks, these young moths come out of the cocoons and fly away. And fly away. We have to be very careful within 2 to 3 days of the formation of cocoon. Very important statement to be underlined this one. Within 2 to 3 days of formation of cocoon, what you have to do? We start removing them from the tray. Within 2 to 3 days of formation of cocoon, we have to start removing them from the others. What happened? Within a span of 2 to 3 weeks, these moths develop and they will eat the cocoon threads and they will fly away. Now, we start removing, we kill the larvae inside by a process called stifling. We kill the larvae. Killing of larvae by a process called stifling. By a process called stifling. Sir, what I told you, when once after 30 to 35 days of time, the caterpillar stops eating, and then what happened? It is going to be secretes a fiber-like structure by moving its side to side, and it weaves a net around itself. When once the cocoon formation takes place, what happens? In a span of 2 to 3 weeks, we have the development of moth again, and they will fly away. Before the development of moth, within the 2 to 3 days of the formation of cocoon, what we will do is, we are going to kill the caterpillar or the larvae present inside the cocoon. Yes, what is present inside the cocoon? Within 2 to 3 days of the formation of cocoon, we are going to kill the larvae by a process known as stifling. Okay. Stifling. What is meant by stifling? We kill the larvae inside by a process called stifling by putting a lot of these in a steam oven for 10 to 15 minutes. So we will kill by putting this in 10 to 15 minutes. They were exposed to steam. All these cocoons were placed in. Okay, you can see the figure there. A stifling, I will show you how they are going to boiling out. Can you see the picture there? How they are going to boiling out? Yes, that is stifling. You can see the oven-like structure there, boiled water is there, all the cocoons were placed out, and they will close it with lid because of the steam and process everything. We are going to kill the larvae. We are going to kill the, yes, larva. The cocoons have to be, why we are going to kill the larva inside? Do you got any doubt here? Yes. The cocoons have to be stifled to kill the larvae inside. Why we have to kill the larvae? Otherwise, it will cut its way after growing into a moth and spoil the entire cocoon. Whatever cocoon we are talking about from the beginning onward, the cocoon consists of fiber-like threads. A certain process we are going to obtain it as a silk thread, which is the most important part for us. So the cocoons have to be stifled. Why? To kill the larvae inside, as otherwise it will cut its way out after growing into a moth and spoil the cocoon. We will not be able to get a continuous thread of silk from such a cocoon. If once the larva is developed into a caterpillar is developed into silk moth, the silk moth spoils out the cocoon, so that we cannot able to get the silk fiber. That's why within 2 to 3 days of the formation of cocoon, we have to kill the larvae present inside by the process named as stifling. Okay, my dear students, stifling helps us to store the cocoons for a long time. When once we do stifling, larvae inside will be killed out, so it will not be spoiled. This cocoon can be packed and stored for a long time. And this process usually done in reeling centers. Okay, my dear students, that's it. So, it's a very important thing to be remembered out. Stifling is the important process in the life history of silkworm, where we can able to produce the cocoon in a good condition. Otherwise, the larva which is present inside develops into moth, and this moth eats these threads of the cocoon, so that we cannot able to get the silk thread properly. Okay, my dear students. So that is all about the stage 2 from egg to cocoon. Very important stage. Cocoon is a very important thing. Cocoon is also known as pattukayilu. Okay, my dear students. So in this class, we have discussed about the stages of cocoon. Okay, na? That is from egg to cocoon. The next stage we are going to discuss about some other important stages of the life history of silkworm. Until then, bye. Have a nice day.